Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire To Inspire. This show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire To Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Brown, and I am, as always, beyond excited to be on here with you guys. If not, the most excited that I've ever been, because today marks the first episode of Tiny Talk switching its name to Rewire To Inspire. I wanted to dedicate a special episode just in doing some reflection on the last year, letting you guys know why I changed my name, what the new name means, and what you can expect to get out of this podcast here moving forward whenever it is that you guys tune in. I just want to say a big thank you for all the love and encouragement that you guys have already sent to me since I've released that I am changing my name. The feedback that you guys have given really does just fill my cup and inspires me to keep going with the show and gives me that ignition that I am meant to do this and that you guys do care and are tuning in, which honestly is such a deep-rooted gratitude in my heart that I can't even put into words. And so today's episode is really just going to be a conversation together. I really just want to take a moment to reflect on the past year on this journey, reflect on why it is that I'm changing my name, and just to normalize that it's okay that as we evolve and we shift, we can make changes as we go. And it just shows that we don't have to have everything figured out in the beginning, nor should we. If we have everything figured out in the beginning of our journey, it really isn't a journey, it's a destination. And it really is the journey that gives us those hard lessons or gives us those teachings. And I really think that without the journey and without those struggles and without putting the pieces of the puzzle together, there really is no point of doing anything in life. Because if we don't have to go through the pain or go through the hard times or learn and fail forward, there really is no part of us that is growing and evolving during something. And what is the point of doing anything in life if we don't learn from it, take something away from it, or find a way to grow and elevate through that experience? And so this podcast has been exactly that for me. When I first started this podcast in September of last year, I started it very much on a whim. I had ordered a tiny microphone on Amazon, mostly because I had a problem with shopping on Amazon, which is a whole episode in and of itself. But I just ordered this microphone because I thought it was so funny. And then I started recording stories on my Instagram with it, and everybody thought it was hilarious. And one day I just sat down and I was going on my computer. And I do this thing sometimes where I like to record myself either saying affirmations, saying how I'm feeling, and I record it so I can listen back to it, but it's also a way for me to just get that energy out of my body. And I realize now that by doing that, I was using my voice to speak my experiences into existence and to bring awareness to them, but I didn't realize at the time that that was going to lead to me having a podcast where I am now. And so at that time, it was just a tiny microphone. It was just a joke. I was going to just see where it goes. If you go back and you listen to my first episode, it is absolutely brutal. The quality is brutal. I sound almost terrified. I sound really sad in the episode. But I did the episode and I uploaded it, which is what matters. When we're able to push past those things and just get through it, we're then able to give ourselves something to reflect back on. And again, if I had all the right microphones and all the right resources and technology and all those things at the very beginning, I wouldn't have learned so many good lessons as a podcaster that I can now teach to other podcasters that are beginning this journey or wanting to begin this journey. And so, like I said, I really wanted this episode to just be a conversation between us, just to kind of get to know each other a little bit. My podcast very much dive deep. There are a lot of reflective questions. It's a lot of getting honest, getting vulnerable. And I just wanted to take some time today to just have a conversation, just you and me, and just go through a couple takeaways that I've learned from the last year, what this new name is going to mean for both of us, where the mission is and where Rewire to Inspire is headed from here. And so the first thing that I want to just start with is 3 takeaways that I took away from this last year of podcasting, which is even crazy to say that it's been a year because it has been up and down, and there has been periods that I was more consistent than others. And I'm very thankful to say now that I have been over 30 weeks consistent without missing, and I'm now up to 2 episodes a week, but we'll get into more of that in a moment. But there was so many lessons that I learned through this journey that I really hope to inspire you through saying these with you and sharing these with you. And so the first one is that your comfort zone will continuously elevate. And what I mean by that is if we're not consciously aware of where we are in our comfort zone, we can be adapting ourselves to get stuck in a comfort zone without even realizing it. Because we often think that just because we take a leap of faith or we get out of our comfort zone for a moment, that new comfort zone is now the hardest thing that we can handle. But the thing is every time that we evolve up or we elevate or level up or we grow or whatever, we're stepping in and claiming a new power. And when we do that, we're learning more things. We're having more awareness than we did in the beginning. And so therefore, our comfort zone has become wider, right? We have less things to be worried about. When I jump on here and record, I'm less worried about fixing the audio or how I'm going to upload it or what my platform's going to be, who's going to listen, how I'm going to post, because I figured those things out through trial and error. And as I just mentioned, I'm now over 30 weeks consistent. So that showed me that prior to getting consistent, doing 1 episode a week felt like excruciatingly painful. There was weeks that I was missing because I just didn't have the commitment or discipline to sit down and do it. But once I told myself and verbally expressed to you guys that I was going to be uploading every Sunday, I knew that I couldn't miss because the pain of missing was more detrimental to my mental health and to my ego than to sit down and record the episode. But so as I started to prove to myself that I could do 1 a week, my comfort zone was then shifting. I was getting comfortable with doing that. And so we have to be mindful of getting out of our comfort zone consistently and not just one time. I am now at a new level of getting outside my comfort zone by doing 2 episodes a week, which means more discipline, more time allocated to sitting down on the mic, more time allocated to thinking what I want to talk about, doing research, thinking of ideas, whatever it is. And so that's caused me to get uncomfortable. But it's an uncomfortableness that I'm okay with because I know that it's going to help me evolve. It's going to help get me closer to my goal. It's going to help me put out more content. And so beginning to ask yourself if you've been in a new comfort zone, but if that comfort zone has also become too comfortable, right? Has your leap of faith or has your risk become too comfortable for you? Because often we don't realize that because we like to feel safe. We like to feel like we have a barrier. I loved having batch content set for the next month, but I realized that if I could do that, there was no excuses or reasons of why I couldn't dial that back to do two episodes a week. And so my whole podcast is about leveling up, stepping into your power, getting rid of the excuses, continuously chasing that next best version of yourself, and you get to determine what you want that to look like. I'm referencing a lot of this to podcasting because that's been my personal experience, but where can you apply this to your life? Where is it that you're trying to grow in, and have you claimed that, and are you ready to elevate that even more? And so that was a huge takeaway that I took away from this year, is that our comfort zones and growing is ever evolving. It's always changing, right? We're always ready to level up and grow more. Again, think of it like our school system. We go from kindergarten to grade 1 to grade 2 to grade 3, but we don't go to grade 3 unless we learn grade 2. And that's the exact same thing in life. What grade, quote unquote, are you at, and what is the next step for you? Are you holding yourself back because you don't think that you're ready, but are you actually more ready than you're giving yourself credit for? My second takeaway from this year is that discipline is a learned skill. Discipline is those little choices that we make on a day-to-day basis that are going to determine the person that we want to be or the person that we aspire to be. Because I used to think of discipline like a choice, like something you can just do whenever it is best fit for you. But the thing about discipline is that it's a lifestyle. It's how your mindset operates. It's those conscious decisions that we make when our alarm goes off in the morning of if we're going to hit snooze or if we're going to go back to bed. If we're going to eat the junk food or if we're not going to eat the junk food. If we're going to go to the gym even if we don't want to or if we're not. It's having that discipline. It's those choices in our mind. But every single time that we have a disciplined opportunity and we choose the one that we know is not in alignment or is bad for us or is going to hold ourselves back, we're letting our mind know that we do not have discipline and that we can just get off easy. And so discipline is a learned skill. I've learned that through this journey because nobody's forcing me to sit down and record these episodes. Nobody's forcing me to edit these and upload them. Nobody's forcing me to post on social media. I have discipline because I know that it's the things that I need to do behind the scenes that are going to get me the outcome that I want later in life. And as I've mentioned before on this podcast, we are creatures of wanting instant gratification. We don't want to have discipline because we want to eat the junk food. We want to stay home and sit on the couch, right? We don't want to do the things because that's where it's easy. We like things to be easy and tangible. But the thing about discipline being a learned skill is that the more that we ask ourselves, even those little questions of, am I doing and making the right decision based on the future that I want? Or am I making a decision right now out of maybe a state of being lazy, maybe tired, whatever it is? It's pushing through those times when you don't want to do something and doing it anyways, because your mind will learn to almost enjoy that discipline, look forward to getting uncomfortable, right? We begin to crave the things that we seek and that we apply to our life, and discipline is no different. So even start with that, the alarm clock in the morning. Are you going to hit snooze or are you going to sleep in? This is one that I'm really trying to rewire my mind with, because when we do that, first off, that's the first thing that we do in the morning. If we're snoozing our alarm constantly over and over and over again, we're really setting our day off for failure right from the time that we wake up. Making those hard decisions the second that you wake up. I heard a statistic the other day, and it was something about 80% of millionaires wake up at 4 a.m. Nobody wants to wake up at 4 a.m. and go do the things. But the difference between that mindset and a regular mindset is discipline. So know that discipline is a learned skill and something that you can adapt. It comes down to those conversations you're having with yourselves and the daily actions that you're doing on a daily basis. My third takeaway from the last year has been, simply put, that not everybody will understand. Not everybody will understand why it is that you're doing the things that you're doing, even if they make sense to you. And I just want to give the permission that that's okay. Nobody has to understand because it's not their journey. The same as I don't understand why other people do certain things that they do. But hey, if that makes you happy and that's in alignment for you, who am I to interfere or to spread what my opinion is about that, because it's not my life. But so remembering that not everybody will understand why it is you're doing what you're doing. Not everybody will be able to give you that validation that you might be seeking. And so sometimes it is really lonely when we begin focusing on the areas of our life that bring us happiness, focusing on our purpose, diving into self-discipline, diving into self-improvement, growth-oriented, whatever. Not everybody will understand, and a lot of people will try to subconsciously manipulate you and make you feel like you're doing something wrong or try to veer you back on their path, right? And so knowing that whenever we start to go after things and people don't understand, I want to give you the permission that it's okay to be lonely for a while. It's okay to not be understood. And as human beings, we like to be understood, right? We don't like when we feel different. But knowing that down the road, you are going to thank yourself more for doing the things that make you uncomfortable and that people don't understand, more than if you just listen to those that aren't in alignment and go with what other people say. And so that has been my third huge takeaway from this year, is that not everybody's going to understand that I'm going to wake up on the weekend and record a podcast. Not everyone's going to understand why I'm posting so many things about mental health on social media. Not everyone's going to understand why I have to say no to certain things because I need to be pouring it into my business. And that's okay. I don't expect anybody else to understand. But we'll often easily let ourselves down, or we'll give in to other people because we don't want to make other people upset. But know that at the end of the day and at the end of the line, you are going to be the only one that's affected by that outcome. And again, it's something that takes time to foster and to understand and to get that self-belief and confidence that you're worthy to go after those things. But know that people will try to veer you off your path. People will try to say things, tell you you're not capable, try to give you advice that's unfitting. whatever. So asking yourself, is this somebody that I even want advice from? Is this someone who has an understanding of what it is that I'm doing? And if the answer is no, taking it with a grain of salt, focusing on your heart, your mission, your gut, what it is you're striving for, because those people will always hold you back. So those were the 3 takeaways that I wanted to share with you today. And I just wanted to quickly talk about what this new name means. Rewire to Inspire. This was a name, I've been wanting to change my name for a couple weeks now because I was just recognizing that Tiny Talks, as much as it flows and I say it easily and it's stuck and I really like it, it really isn't fitting or in alignment with anything to do what we talk about on the show, right? Again, it prefaced with the tiny microphone, having short conversations, but as you guys know, some of my episodes are up to 40 minutes long, and so they're definitely not a tiny talk. And so I knew that I wanted to preface it around something about the brain, something about mindset, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And one day when I was meditating and just honing in what I want that to look like, the word rewire kept coming up. Rewire. And I was asking myself, what is my mission with this show? What am I trying to get out of this? And that's to inspire. Rewire to inspire. And if we dig deep on that, it basically means that if we're able to rewire our mindset, rewire the things that we're telling ourselves, rewire our limiting beliefs, rewire those blocks, rewire our traumas, our events, life experiences, and allow those to either inspire us, inspire others, whatever it is, knowing that that's capable. And that is the whole point of this show. I would love to have a word count for how many times I've said the word rewire on my podcast, because everything in life comes down to mindset. If we are to backtrack absolutely anything in life, it all comes down to mindset of making or breaking a situation. How we view something, how we feel about something, how we outlook on something, that's going to determine the outcome of that situation. And so Rewire to Inspire is bringing awareness that if we are consciously noticing our thoughts, consciously noticing the things that we're telling ourselves, the actions that we're doing on autopilot, right? Those 40% of habits that we do every single day without realizing it, and we're able to shift that, we're able to live one heck of a life. We're able to inspire other people to do the same. And my goal of this show is to inspire one person, and then you can go out and inspire one person, and then they go out and inspire one person, and then we just have this beautiful trickle of inspiring each other and evolving and leveling up as a collective and normalizing that as a society. And so you probably noticed in the intro to today's show, I have a new introduction, and I want to read it to you guys again a little bit slower so you're able to listen of what the goal is now of this podcast. And so the goal of Rewire to Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on your life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative and to pivot our lives. And so I really just want you to sit with that for a moment, that each and every one of us has the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative. Again, we often all grow up thinking that how our mindset is how it is, right? And I do think that you can have a fixed mindset in that your belief is that you are who you are. And my point of my podcast isn't to try to, shift people from not believing that, but to give you the permission that it is possible if you want it to be possible. But if you've already told yourself that you just are who you are and you're okay with that, then that's okay, right? Everything in life is a choice. Everything in life comes down to our values, what's in alignment, what it is that we want. And if you're okay with being stuck and you're okay with being in your ways, and that's as far as you want to maximize your life, that's on you, right? We all have the conscious decision and ability to take our life as far as we want it to. And my goal is to just give that permission that it is possible to break the stigma and the norm that we are stuck in our ways. How often do we hear people say, oh, they're just so stuck in their ways? Maybe that person has developed a coping mechanism, a safety mechanism, a way to protect themselves, right? And so I want you to know that if that is you, and if you have been stuck like that for a while, and as always, I always encourage folks to go to therapy, go see a counselor, right? That is one of the best places that we can begin to transform our thinking. going to therapy for me felt like the end of the world, because at the time I was a counselor, and so it felt very weird to me that I was going to a counselor. But I realized that it's okay to go and talk to somebody. It's okay to normalize going to see a counselor, even if you don't have all these issues going on. It's about just putting in the work and evolving, getting things out of our system. We all have needs, we all have feelings, we all have stresses, we all have things that make us angry, things that make us happy. And so if we're able to just normalize that and being open to talking about it, we're therefore open to just hearing feedback and shifting our perspective. And that's exactly what going to therapy is. It's unloading and expressing the things that you're going through, challenging things, and getting a new perspective on it, working on it, healing it. And so that is my goal each week when I tune in every single Tuesday and Thursday, is to hopefully help you rewire little parts of your subconscious that have been stuck for a very long time. But doing so in a trauma-informed, safe perspective of knowing that you are safe here. Knowing that anything that you're feeling is valid. Any experiences that you've gone through are valid. And I want to give that permission that this is a safe place to begin that healing journey. I've been through it. I know what it's like to be on both sides of it. I am still actively dealing with mental health and will for the rest of my life, and so will anybody listening to this. It is an ongoing ebb and flow of life and emotions and feelings, and just things will come and go. They'll ebb and flow. But it all comes down to, again, our mindset. And so I'm just so excited to finally be on here introducing you guys to the first episode of Rewire to Inspire. I hope that name sticks and lands and just inspires you that it's so possible. It's so possible for you, right? Normalizing for yourself that you're so worthy and capable of anything you put your mind to. If you've told yourself that you've tried everything and that there's no possible way, even bringing awareness to that, because that is a blocked, fixed mindset. So thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in to this week's episode. And I guess I kind of have to shift that now, because now we have 2 episodes a week. So I'm going to have to say tuning into today's episode. I want to thank you guys so much again for just sharing, liking, commenting, all the feedback on my new name. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you guys. I couldn't be here with you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Here's to beginning a new journey, a new milestone, 1 year into this journey. I'm so excited to see where it goes, and I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. Bye, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at JessieBrown13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.